That's right, Marianne. Today we show you why working with one of the most delicate materials is the best job ever.
Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Welcome to our studio.
From top to bottom, everything you see in this studio is made out of glass. John's love for stained glass started at a very young age, long before he moved to Canada.
Well, of course, I was a youngster. How old was I? Maybe 7, 8 years old. Used to go to church with my parents. And I loved the colors, of course, in the stained glass windows. Especially I was touched by the blues, the deep blues, cobalt blues.
But it would be years later and miles away from his hometown in Holland where John catches himself admiring the beautiful stained glass windows once again.
I attended a retreat in Ladner, BC, and I discovered some broken glass around the church from a stained glass window there. Anyway, I found out that the prior of the place, Father Othmer, was doing that kind of work. As a matter of fact, he did all the windows in that church. And so I looked him up and, well, he appreciated the attention, I guess, and he gave me some lead, some glass, told me a little bit of know-how, and I went home and experimented a little bit, and that was kind of the start.
John learned what he could from Father Othmar in just a few minutes, and for over 50 years, he's been teaching himself the art of stained glass windows.
Yeah, in Prince George. And then a year after I'd been there, and I did some work there, of course, I was asked by Adult Education to teach the course. Well, we had hundreds and hundreds of students over the years. I thought, I just started this thing, you know, when they asked me, I said that, I just started this. I don't know all there is to know about this. But they said, oh, you know, you'll find. And indeed, I learned a lot from the students also.
His cutting is an accuracy of less than a 32nd of an inch. His solder lines are a joy to behold. So if he decides to do it, he does it.
Well, I guess that's my cue to give it a try.
You hear that score mark?
Yep.
Right? Now, we have a nice breaker here, the groove up here, and you place that right underneath this score mark, there.
Okay.
And then you press.
Oh, wow.
Bingo.
Wow.
Right? You know enough now, you can do it.
That was really easy for cutting
Yeah.
glass.
So, cut right across here, but press a little hard and let's see, like this, screw up, there.
Okay.
Hard. Harder.
Well, turns out cutting glass is not that easy. Not only is it far stronger than it looks, but it's definitely not as fragile as we all believe. But surprisingly, after a few tries, I got the hang of it. And that's the true beauty of this job.
Okay, now press hard.
We have taught people with all sorts of outlooks on life and challenges. We have the jewelry making with fused glass, and the children classes we've had, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, our own grandchildren have been doing this for much longer, and they create things that are lovely and very meaningful to them. When we're making church windows, every day is a Bible study. When we're making pendants for gifts, every thought is on whoever we're making them for. There is a creativity button that gets pushed, and it's wonderful.
Together, John and Norma have completed close to 100 stained glass windows for churches all over Canada. And if that's not enough, they've even created some unique designs for restaurants and private homes in places as far as Japan.
So we have a design here. This is St. George on a horse. It started off with a tiny little picture here. It started with the church in Ashcroft. They had a window there that had been painted, and that paint had flaked off, and they said, can you make us this window in stained glass? Well, I took a step back and I thought, oh my God, this thing is about 12 feet high, right? And separate sections. But Norma, my wife, she said, oh yeah, you know, we can do that. Well, she did a lot of designing.
I saw the window and I loved the subject matter. It was a complete story. It started with the Holy Spirit working through Mary back to Christ the King. And there were Sunday school pictures which pushed the button with me. And I just wanted to do it. And so I said, yes, we can, because I had great faith in John being able to follow up on the yes, we can.
And of course they did. In fact, it's John's outlook on life and unwavering passion that has made him so successful despite some tough challenges.
Well, of course, 4 or 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. It was quite a shock. I also had cancer 20 years ago. That was quite a shock, but I have a clean bill of health there. And of course, you have this right hand that trembles, right? You don't see me tremble right now. No. That's because when I'm engaged, when my hand is engaged, and it does a very precise work, for instance, it overrides this.
Challenges, I think, are limited only by your ability to face them. And some of the projects that John has taken on have been astounding. Sometimes over 500 pieces of glass in a project. John's Parkinson has made it even more special because he has not been limited. At one point, we took stock of what he still could do versus what he could not do. There was nothing on the could not do list because being able to do things is often a state of mind.
And with that state of mind, even after 22 years of designing one stained glass after another, John and Norma show us that there's nothing in this world we can't do as long as you continue doing what you love and never lose sight of the joy it brings.
It is something that is a tremendous boost to personal sense of worth. It also is something that in every aspect you create something that's beautiful. And so I think it's best job category because what can you do that's more wonderful than to create something that's beautiful, whether it's for yourself or for someone else.